Core.
You are listening to Core, a show on Code Zero Radio that plays bands located in the Fox Cities. A show to find and discover new music. Hosted by Andy McNamara.
You are tuned in to Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. It's a weekly live interview show where we interview a lot of great bands from the Fox Cities and beyond. Really excited about today's guests. My next guests are a Green Bay-based guitar and drum complemented blues rock band. Their latest EP is called 10 of Swords. I'd like to welcome Julian and Travis to Fox Cities Core. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing good.
We kind of talked about already coming down from the Green Bay area. Do you find yourself coming down to Appleton often in the Fox Cities with just everything that's kind of happening down here?
Yeah, I mean, like, they have the, John Sobey threw the Roots Festival and stuff like that. We get to play that. But there's great bands that are playing there. So, yeah, there's a lot of really cool things happening in Appleton. So, yeah, every now and then, Misfits, we go over there, caught Smoke Free Home there, and who else? Lunar Moth. Yeah, well, great shows.
We love Appleton.
We do.
So up in Green Bay, there's quite a scene up there as well. How does the Green Bay scene compare to the Appleton scene?
It feels a lot more centralized now, in Green Bay, just because we have like the Lyric Room and Frets and Friends, and it just seems like that's mostly where we're at most of the time. And whereas Appleton, it seems like it's a little more spread out. Like there's just more places that you can go see stuff or what have you. Especially with Mile of Music, and the whole dang town shuts down for it, basically.
Their downtown has big buildings. We like that. No, compared to from Green Bay to Appleton, it doesn't feel too much different. It's very similar in ways, but we like the Lyric Room in Green Bay because it's so close to our house. So we gotta plan the half-hour trip. So. Not so bad, and then the drive home, depending on the time of night. Sometimes you get late nights, But.
So would the Lyric Room be one of your favorite venues to play, just hands down in Wisconsin?
Yeah, so far we've had other venues that we really like, but they no longer exist. But as for the Lyric Room, yeah, actually our 10 of Swords EP. The cover is from us being at the Lyric Room for irony purposes, but it's a Polaroid that they had a wall of, and the picture shows us pointing to our picture. So,
well, we'll get into it because a lot of your releases, they do kind of seem to revolve around venues, which is kind of a cool thing, which I don't know if it's intentional or not intentional, but let's talk about where you two met. Where did the story start?
Oh boy, long time ago in a place very far away. No, we met at a Perkins in Green Bay back when smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee all night was like the cool thing to do, and Julian met some mutual friends of mine, and they said that like, hey, I think you guys would get along, and we went to Perkins and drank coffee all night, and as Julian said, it's like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, we're both when we first met, we're both like kind of metalheads into like punk rock, like harder punk rock. I'm wearing a Metallica shirt, and he's wearing a
Slayer shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And we're like, oh, you play music? I'm like, yeah, I play music. I'm like, I don't know, like what kind of music you play? Like hard rock. I'm like, you want to start a blues band?
Yeah, it's
like actually, yeah, same idea. And the first time we hung out, like together, we went to your parents' house in Oconto Falls. We actually both moved to Green Bay around the same time.
Yeah.
I'm from Michigan, so I moved to Green Bay. I was looking for people to hang out with. My friends were like, oh, I met this guy named Travis. He's really cool. He plays the drums. You guys would, totally get along. Boy, were they right.
So you said you guys were metalheads?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you listening to?
Well, I was big into like sludge metal stuff, and like a big fan of like the Melvins, and then Corrosion Conformity,
Down.
Down.
Yeah.
Love Down. Oh man.
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains, yeah, and just that kind of genre. Anything that like, if you get like this really greasy breakdown, I'm in it. I'm in for it.
Yeah, like a lot of Black Sabbath.
Oh, Black
inspired
Sabbath,
stuff.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Which
that's
is-
standard.
Oh yeah.
So that's what you were into when you met.
Yes.
And you started the band in 2010, or that was your first release. Did the band get together before that, prior to 2010?
2007.
2007
Actually.
actually. So what happened was we got together. We started playing. My buddy Fat Body Justin recorded us like practicing basically, and just like making up songs as we went. And that's when we hit Johnny Come Back Home.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was all stream of consciousness too. We just go like, I don't know. Here's the guitar lick, whatever.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. And so we did that, and we had a good handful of just random recordings that we could go off of, and then I moved to Ireland. So that kind of
While he was in Ireland, I was like, all right, we're gonna like the songs we had recorded were a bassist. They had no vocals. It was just mumbling at the time. Kind of get the key together. Watch the Beatles documentary, and that's how they did it too. See, that's how you do it. But as we went through, like Travis would listen to the songs that Fat Body had recorded, and he'd write lyrics to it, and so forth. And then we just come up with more songs. And while you're in Ireland, I was like, "Hey, come over. I got something to show you." And I had like 10 songs. He's like, "Wow, you got to work." I'm like, "Well, you were gone. I was like awaiting your coming back."
We just put a bookend on it, and then I got back, and I was like, "Oh, let's go. All right, cool."
Time to play a show or two. We started doing covers at first because you got to do that, to get out there. Like, you're nobody knows what you sound like yet, and the way to kind of attain that is to go there. But we didn't pick like common songs, like popular songs on the radio. It was like popular songs from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Like we were doing like Elmore James, and I think we did Sun House.
Yeah, we did a Chuck Berry one.
Yeah.
Maybelline, I believe.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
Maybelline.
Maybelline,
Yeah. And that one, and then we do like a weird slowdown in it and stuff. And I don't know, we would cover something that you wouldn't necessarily expect to hear, and yeah, we kind of developed from there. But yeah, no, we started playing shows and just kind of like, well, we got enough songs to make like an actual record now, so let's do it. And then that was so long ago, and now we and then we had the break in there and stuff like that. And so like then when I moved back to Green Bay, then we kind of picked it up. Well, it was probably 6, 7, 8 months, something like that, after I moved back, that we started playing again. And then we started writing a lot more, and just never recorded anything until just recently, where we're like, we got to get this out.
We like playing the songs, but making them recording wise, I don't know, man.
Well, Pistols and Daggers, that was your first release, and that was recorded on a 4-track at the Crunchy Frog. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But was that in a live setting that you did that, or was that after they weren't open and you just went there and recorded them on the 4-track?
Yeah, it was after they weren't open. We had the idea of just kind of setting up. We didn't set up on the stage. We set up like in the giant room where, I don't know if anybody remembers, but what is it now? It's Old School now?
Old School, yeah.
Where they have all the pool tables was essentially the spot where you had set up. We put the drums kind of far back, the guitar far back, and mic'd the entire room. And with the 4-track, we just used 2 tracks, guitar on a little bit on one side and drums on the other, and just seen where it went. And then we went back and did the vocals later. But yeah, we did it ourselves, and I think it turned out all right.
It's pretty raw, but it's like literally on a cassette tape. So
yeah, that's where the crappy cassette records came from. Yeah.
What was the reaction like when you put that first release out?
It was great, honestly. So Russ Dantine, the owner of the Crunchy Frog, he actually fronted the cash for making the album and everything. He said he really liked us, so he said use the bar, recording it, whatever when we're not open. So we got way too caffeinated and did that whole thing, and then
About that.
yeah, and then we had our album release night, and we made like all the money back to pay him back that night. We sold so many, so it was a really, really well received, and we actually got. So there was a bunch of people, and so I don't want to. I'm not disparaging anybody who wants to like get an autograph or anything like that. But like, you're asking us for an autograph. Like, come on. I don't know. Whatever. Like, I'm literally no one.
we got done playing. We're like, let's do shots of Jameson and celebrate. Then people are like, hey, can you sign this for us? Like, sign your record. Yeah. Like, it's a CD, the full out case.
I signed on the CD. I wrote, in 10 years, you'll forget why you bought this. And I signed it. And then we went on Discogs. Somehow, somebody put our record up on Discogs, because it's like, the music museum, basically. And they put it up, and the photo was of that. In 10 years, you'll forget why you bought this, like, because they have all the photos with the inside covers and everything like that. And I messaged the guy, because I was like, oh, was that you that bought that record? Like, I can't remember who you are. I'm sorry, And he's like, no, I found it in a Goodwill. And so literally the person who wrote that forgot why they bought it and just gave it to a Goodwill.
I mean, it's got to be a little bit humbling and at the same time kind of cool that, I mean, they didn't throw it out. They brought it to a Goodwill to...
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I love it.
Thank you for rehoming our album. Yeah. In like the poor man's way of getting out there, I went to, I think, St. Louis, Chicago, and I brought some CDs and put them in a Goodwill, ironically. But I don't think it was there. It could have been. You never know. But obviously, this one was purchased. These were ones that were like still sealed, hoping that someone would be like, oh, neat. A record that I could use for hopefully not a coaster. But
were there any issues that came up recording that first album that, you're just getting used to recording? Anything that came up that was like, oh, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be? Like anything had changed? Transferring
to the digital era and with the technology at the time, I had like a MacBook, like an old MacBook that I'd bought. Getting it from the tape to the computer and having it the highest quality that you can get was a little difficult.
Especially at the time.
Yeah, thank you, GarageBand. But we would just do the playback from the 4-track into the computer and then go, there, I think this is mixed right, and then sent it to get it on a CD, and it came back quieter than we had expected.
Right.
We've come a long way. We did our new record ourselves, too, with way better equipment.
Yeah. Well, and then it was like we didn't really know how to get the sound that we wanted in particular. Like the vocals, like I like kind of like a compressed but like a overdriven sound on it, get a little crack in it. And we didn't know how to do that, so we like tied a bandana around a microphone and put a tin can with holes punched in it over the top, so it'd get like this tinny, overdriven sound. And I mean, it worked, but it was also like, that's not the best way to do it. I just heard I heard Mick Jagger did that once, and so I have no idea if that's true. I just heard that, and so I was like, oh, let's try it.
And you mentioned liking the metal kind of sludgy stuff. It seems like a lot of that stuff did have a little bit, depending on which band you're talking about, like the Melvins did it, they were doing kind of stuff to figure out. But at first when you said metal, I thought like really clean, like Metallica or Megadeth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, our friend Manpay would say that my taste in music is barely listenable. Like if you have a record that you can barely distinguish between any instrument, I will probably love it. It's like if it's lo-fi, I'm all over it. And and I don't know, we grew up in the middle of friggin' nowhere, so when we started playing music, it was like we just want to make music that we like and that we want to hear. And when I started hearing this like weird lo-fi stuff, it's like I just want to make that so bad.
It was convenient to be lo-fi because lo-fi was the quality we were up against. and with that, I mean, we like the sludge music, like the Sabbath-y kind of sound and whatnot, but we wanted to sound like it was from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like if you picked it up, you're like, oh, when was this recorded? Oh, it was recorded in 2010. I assumed it was recorded in like the late 70s. Are you guys time travelers? But I don't know. I feel like we got that out there and a lot of nods to like the old blues idea. And that's why we wear what we wear too, is kind of the Blues Brother kind of stick kind of idea on top of it. Trying to stay with the roots, but with a modern kind of feel, especially with the newer EP. But back in the day, it was meant to be more of this is the way we're going to start out. This will be the first stone in what we build. If I may elaborate on the cover art too, on top of it, it's Pistols and Daggers, and that actually has no definition to it by just looking at the image, but there's a behind meaning that we have tattoos on our arms that we did not get when we made before the record. We had these tattoos, and when we met, we're like, "Oh, forearm tattoo, that's cool." And then we thought, "Hey, what if we turn that into the theme of the record?"
Pistols and Daggers.
Pistols and Daggers.
And then Patrick Matoxin did the cover art, and it's awesome. He does like that cool kind of Ralph Steadman stuff, and yeah, he's really good. He's actually doing. We put the EP out, but we have a full length coming out as well, and he did the artwork for that, and we're keeping that quasi secret. We're like,
Coming
we'll release
soon.
that, I got to keep a little mystique.
Yeah.
Well, you guys on your Bandcamp page have a lot of releases.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like there's live at the Lyric Room. There was the Warehouse recordings. I mean, there's like a lot of live stuff. I mean, what kind of drew you to do that? Was it to get something out, or was it we don't want to go record?
We just had so many things, like the warehouse. I used to work for DirecTV, and after we had closed down, we would just go into the warehouse and we had set up in there and play.
We lived in little apartments that we could not play live music in, so we needed a place to play, and we just kept getting warehouses to play it. I think we had like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
But at the same right too, like we were into the recording equipment. Like I'd gone to school to be an electrician, and I was like really obsessed with learning how to record and how to wire stuff, and so I was like obsessed with recording. So capturing it so we can practice kind of meditation wise. But yeah, having the recordings out there helped us songwrite on top of it too. But it was just neat to hear it back. When you're in a band and you write a song and you don't have the medium to record it or ever hear it or show it to anybody, it makes it really difficult. So we just would do live recordings and call it, and here's the CD to give out when you're playing music. There's nothing more upsetting. Like I've seen bands and you're like, "Oh, do you have any recordings?" They're like, "No, not yet." You're like, "I want a recording. I want to hear this.
I want to hear you.
Yeah, so that was kind of satisfy that.
We spent quite a bit of time so far in the show talking about the debut album, and let's talk a little bit. You did an EP that was like a really quick EP you released. You want to talk about "I'm Ready"?
Oh yes.
Oh, the song "I'm Ready" off the.
Oh, that was a single. That's right.
The sing, yeah. The sing,
Yeah.
So we
There's actually 3 versions of it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's a track according to my notes here called "Sludge Rock on a Reel-to-Reel Player." Is that
Oh,
the same?
yeah.
Is that the same track?
No.
No, that was we both got reel to reels at one point because we were just obsessed with making things hard on ourselves, and
We like a challenge.
so we just did like a weird jam, and it turned into like this like sludge rock thing.
It
And
was like four some minutes long.
yeah, and it was just that's all it was. We were just goofing around and like, we got something on reel to reel, and
Something to listen to, and then time being.
yeah.
Like, honestly, like that was like, oh, we don't have another song out. We don't want to release the songs that we're writing for the new EP. So here's something to fill the void. It's been 10 so years since we had something new. So we just literally another stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
There are lyrics to it too that I'm like screaming in the background, almost on purpose. But that sludge rock and real player was like, try to redefine the new sound. Got different guitars, got a different amplifier, got new guitar pedal, and trying to make something new. Like, this is the new sound that we're going to go for. Let's see how people respond. People like it, hey.
Yeah. But I'm ready in general if you want to, take a little walk down Travis's angsty past.
I do.
We're going to talk about the notebook, aren't we?
Oh, no.
There's a notebook that he had that he would write things. Again, I use the word stream of consciousness, the word of today. Where he would just write things down and all these different ideas for songs that, you just write almost like poetry in a sense and try to use it.
Well, and that song actually literally started as a poem. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy certain poetry and stuff like that, but I'm not a poet by any means. But when I left for Ireland, like I got a stable job and stuff like that, but I was like, what was I, 19? I was 19 years old, and I just I was working a lot, and I got the chance to go to Ireland and actually move there, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take it. That feels stupid not to at this point, and a family member of mine got very upset, and they'll remain nameless. But they got very upset, and it was one of those things where it's like, I don't understand. You're throwing away your life, going over here, and it's like, well, I'm 19. I got a lot of life ahead of me. I can try something out. And it was kind of a, well, don't look me up when you get back sort of a thing. And I got pretty upset about it. And I was like, man, this is wild. I just want to try to do something new. And that's where the middle part, the kind of breakdown of the song comes in. And I wrote that as a poem. And, just about like you're going to work yourself to death. That's basically what it's all about. And then, but I thought, yeah, but I don't know. Heck with it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the night. Let's party.
Yeah.
And then Julian, in the warehouse, actually, Julian, I was like playing this thing. I was like, oh, I got the notebook out. Like, this totally fits. All right, let's go.
Yeah. And what was it? A Muddy Waters reference? Was that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready because, Muddy Waters is, I'm ready as anybody can be. Yeah, and
TNT, smoking dynamite.
Hope some screwballs start a fight.
French Irish Coalition.
Hey, but yeah, it was a Muddy Waters reference, the kind of fighting, shooting type part of it, at least, because he was, I don't know, he drank gin and started fights, I guess. I don't know.
It's like that country blues wink, You tend to,
yeah,
like everybody's done rolling and tumbling,
Yeah. Nobody's done I'm ready.
Which part of Ireland were you living in?
Galway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you wish you would have stayed there?
Part of me does, definitely.
Ouch. Hey, we'll go back.
Yeah, great. Say to my friends Karen and Jill over there. Hi, guys. But yeah, no, I part of me definitely wished I would have stayed. I was not ready to come back, honestly. It was just circumstance kind of brought me back, and then just stayed. But I was more than ready to just stay there. I had a job as a chef, and I was living life. So it was a good time, really good time.
That's just a kind of a cool thing that not everybody does. So that's pretty awesome that you moved, lived there for a while.
Yeah, I turned 21 in London because I took a trip to London for my 21st birthday, even though drinking age is 18 there. So it's like, it's a big deal to me. But
wait, it's not?
And I made the mistake of hitting every pub between Seven Dials and Piccadilly Circus in London. I was like, I'm going to do a pub crawl. I'm going to hit every single one of them. And then I literally crawled up my steps to the hostel because I couldn't move. There's so many bars. But
did you fit in with that?
I kind of did. Yeah, it was all right. It was a great time though. I mean, like
He's got stories.
Oh, there's so many stories.
Got stories.
So many stories. I drank with a priest once. That was really interesting. I don't know. It was like, yeah. I get so weird around clergy because I've grown up Catholic and stuff like that. And I just I don't know. I see clergy and I'm like, I freeze. And so I walked in this bar in Toneries outside Galway on Tomb Road. Hi, Tony. And so I go in there and it's always empty. And so this guy's sitting there, this older guy, and he's just drinking a big glass of wine or whatever. And we start talking. Turns out he's got family in Wisconsin and all that jazz. So that was cool. And he started buying me drinks. All right, well, I only stopped in for one. Let's go. And finally, like the fifth round or something like that, he grabs the Guinness away from me. I was like, hey, man, yeah, you bought it. It's here. It's fine. And and then he goes, do you know what Guinness is? Excuse the accent. The terrible one. And do you know what Guinness is? And I was like, it's a stout beer. He's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Tony, the guy behind the bar, like, what's Guinness? And he's like, it's the only thing we drink in Ireland. And he goes, no, that's not it. And he kind of pontificates on it on the light, and he's kind of twirling it around. And he goes, Guinness is a tall blonde wearing a black dress. And I grabbed it, and it goes down like 1, 2, right? Hey. And then he pulls out a rosary. He's like, oh, Jesus, I don't need to hear that. Wait a minute. Are you a priest by chance? I'm like, well, yeah. Like, why are you getting me drunk in a bar?
Yeah. Isn't that all right?
And then everybody, I told people at work the next day, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't trust a priest if I didn't get drunk with them a couple times. Like, don't act like this is normal.
I'm curious about the song dynamics, how you guys write. So you're writing lyrics, Travis, as well. And so both Julian and Travis, you guys are both writing lyrics, and Travis is drumming, obviously, and Julian, you're playing guitar.
Yep.
Are you writing a lot of lyrics that Julian's singing?
Yeah, and well, it's definitely a collaboration. We typically will go in some songs. We've literally gone line for line. Like you write this line, I'll write this line, you write this line. but a lot of times it comes from we'll just get an idea, and Julian will have just like a little lick, whatever, and then we're like, okay, let's just expand on that, and a lot of it has to do with we've just had similar lives in general, so we kind of go off of that, and a lot of the context is just it's the hardships in the past or what have you, or so
a lot of themes. Like if we come up with a song idea too. I think the best instance would have been Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
It's about not just one of us, it's about both of us. So every perspective that we have, we write together. I'll come up with a guitar part, I'll come up with a drum part, and we'll just play off of each other and try to fill that void too, because with being a guitar, drum complemented band, you have to do something in the middle of it. So try to steal the whole blues playing and stuff, and then with you being pretty much John Bonham on steroids, just fill that all in. And then when it comes to lyrics, we try to come up with something that's like really kind of hit you to the heart that people can understand, and make their own definition of, even though we have our own definition of it too. And yeah, we play it back and forth. Like one will primarily write more lyrics to one song, and we'll write songs together at the same write, but essentially we just take credit for everything. Like, we wrote that. Hey, yeah, who cares who wrote that line?
Yeah.
We are going to do a little band reaction here. That's where we play a
my.
question from a previous guest, and we'll get your answers.
Band reaction. Band reaction.
This is Zach.
And this is John from Ifdakar, and we have a question for the French-Irish Coalition.
So, are you sick of being compared to the White Stripes?
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. First off, shut up. No, that doesn't come up as much as you think. Really, it really doesn't.
We get a lot of the Black Keys.
More Black Keys, but that kind of went away years ago already. Like, people used to, like, oh yeah, just doing the Black Keys thing, and but since then, not really. I mean, it's just, like, I think the music has just developed to a point where people don't really see the comparisons anymore.
But not a whole lot of inspiration from the White Stripes at all for that.
Love them, great.
Love them. Everything Jack White and Meg White did, it was amazing. I love that band.
Everything Meg Ryan did was great too.
Yes, and Jack Black too. Yes. Just dropping the name. Yeah, with the White Stripes comparison, like, love the White Stripes, but we're not trying to be them. But it's easy to say that because we're a two-piece. Like,
we did one time. I did get a comment where somebody said, like, "Man, if the White Stripes were anything, you guys would be big." Like, shut up.
It is kind of weird because, like, people do, if they see a guitar drums band, it's like, well, you're the White Stripes or the Black Keys, but it's like there's lots of bands that are 4 pieces and 3 pieces, and we try to be Led Zeppelin or
yeah. Nobody says that.
You
have 3 guitar players? What are you, Iron Maiden?
What are you, Iron Maiden? You played a guitar solo? There's like all these bands that play guitar solos. You just like them.
You're just trying to do Freebird again? Okay, cool.
Already did Freebird.
Is the dynamic with being a 2-piece? Have you ever played in a 3 or 4-piece band before?
Yeah, I play in Holly and the Nice Lions as well.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that's a 3-piece. My first band, Industry, R.I.P. Justin. But that was 5. That was 5 guys, 4 and 5, depending on what era, I guess. But that dynamic is so different. We just talked about this yesterday, actually, where it's like, I don't think there was ever a point where we were like, do we get a bass player? I don't think there was ever a point, because everybody, like, 100,000 times somebody's like, oh, you should get a bass player. And like,
can I play bass for you? I'm like, I don't know what you do.
Like, well, and I just don't want to, like, at this point, it's at this point where we are as just like people and stuff, and it's like we would just be bossing somebody around, like play this, now play this, now play this. There would be no creative freedom. That wouldn't be fun for anybody, and I don't want to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
So
plus the name is the French-Irish Coalition.
so they would either have to be French or Irish or both. We're not adding more nationalities here.
Yeah, let's knock that
There's
one.
no room on stage for another person.
Let's knock that question out too. So the French-Irish Coalition is because you're Irish and you're French and you're a coalition.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
We collate.
yeah, we're really complex people.
Not only that, but like the name is, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot because it's hard to remember. You say like, what's the name of your band? Oh, the French Irish Coalition. Like, oh, congregation. All right.
I just say different stuff on stage at this point because nobody really listens. So we were playing Appleton with 20 Watt Tombstone. Those guys rock. But and I kept saying different names every time, and everybody's just going woo. And I think I said I called us like the Billie Eilish connection at one point.
The fresh Irish connection.
Yeah,
Random words.
The track we're just listening to was one that you sent to me yesterday. Can you tell me a little bit about that track?
Oh man, that was. Oh, there we go. That's Rat Killed the Rabbit, and that I was walking around really drunk one day, as I am wont to do, and I was walking past Brewski's in Green Bay, which is just a dive, lovable people, but a dive, and Green Bay's got a significant rat problem, and so I saw this like thing kind of flash next to me, and again drunk, and I was like, "Oh, it's one of those giant rats," and it was just a bunny. And then I laughed to myself because I was like, "What if a rat just came out and just tackled it and killed it?" And that was literally the inspiration.
But we turned it. We used it as a metaphor.
Yeah, we tried to turn it into a metaphor. We were talking about it, and then and then we started going to like Zodiac and stuff like that, and like what rabbit and rat represents and stuff like that.
But the song lyrics are about being in an argument with someone, like a significant other or whatnot, and the kind of mindset like, I'm just going to leave the room, you know, and when you go to leave the room, they just keep going at you, keep going at you. So it goes, kill the rat, blood's gone running, you know.
Yeah.
So it's about being in an argument, and the verse side, it's the responses of that. Like, let me tell you a story about the time I should have run, honey, instead of stand the time, because she's the one who had the time to figure it out, honey. What I should know, like kind of like and then into the play out of like the zodiac sign, rat killed the rabbit. So
yeah.
We didn't release it on our original Ten of Swords. We just threw it out there today. It was one of those, I mixed it last night and sent it to Andy, and here we go.
It's a fresh track.
Fresh track.
So Ten of Swords, you said you recorded that yourself as well. Like, did you do that at one of your houses?
Julian's house.
Yeah, in my basement. We got a bigger, not tape version of a recording machine, but we use that to record it, and whatever I've picked up through the years from recording like Spencer and Spencer Smed's album, we did that, recorded that. He has kind of like a backup, and then we recorded ourselves, and just to get something out there and kind of catch the feel and make something more modern, less, hey, it sounds like the 70s. Now it's like, oh, this came out in the 90s. We're getting there in the decades. But
now we're starting to work with Joe Lambert from Smart Choppers.
Yeah,
Nice.
And
Lucky Lamb Studios.
Lucky Lamb Studios, and his setup is fantastic, and we've done everything ourselves to this point, and it would just be nice to be like, oh, I don't have to jump up from the drum set and hit record quick and then jump right back. I know you can cut it all out, but it's just
you
a
got to
pain
touch
in
it, and
the
the headphones go.
butt. You get jerked back.
We need an assistant.
It's a great album. Broke My Mind is my favorite track, but
Oh,
I can definitely hear that early Nirvana, Melvin's kind of like in the lyrics. So it's everybody should check out this album. Like, how did it feel to put this one out? Because everybody always says their favorite album of theirs is their latest one.
Of course it is.
So,
Of course.
if I asked you what your favorite release was of yours, what would it be?
Saint Anger.
You mean like of the releases that we've done? I gotta say the last one. I'd say favorite song from that EP.
Favorite song. well, probably the Ten of Swords. I'd say Ten of Swords is just the title track. That one came together. It came together so weirdly because we had everything written, and we were just like, "Oh, this is just it." And then all of a sudden, did we mess up, or did we went too long on a part, and then we just started going further, and then we made it into this like actual musical thing. It was supposed to be like a 2-minute song. And it just went longer, and it was like, that's really cool. And
we got a Post-it note on the wall that says, make songs more dynamic. All right, cool. Yeah, instead of verse, chorus, verse, make something go like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Especially when you hear the song Ten of Swords, which, by the way, is the tarot card, the worst card you can get. You'd figure death or, I don't know, those who know about tarot cards, but like there's a death one, there's the devil, and so forth. Ten of Swords is the worst one. It's a picture of a person laying on their back with 10 swords in their back, saying that no matter what has happened to you, things are bad, face down and whatnot. And so that's the theme of the record. So now that we get the song out, it starts out as kind of like, like you walked into a fortune teller and they're, it's having doubt is not what I should do. Buying a cigarette, holding on to you. Talking about like love and relationships, and then, how alcohol can play a negative part in one's life, and seeing the card for the first time saying that this is what defines you, that you chose. It wasn't dealt, you picked it out of a random
You
set.
do it to yourself at that point.
You've done it to yourself. Yeah. When you realized it, that's all you needed. It's how you're going to get better from that.
It was actually really cathartic getting it out, because that was kind of something that we had talked about for a long time. And that's where Change came from too. The song Change on the record, and
Metaphor for drowning.
yeah, but it was
waking up on the side of the bank, going like, "I'm getting older. I don't know what I should change."
Yeah, but it was just like we kept. It was kind of like we were spinning our wheels, sort of a thing, like just in life in general. And you're just like, why do I keep doing the same thing? I'm
every day
stupid.
Yeah.
I'm a stupid dummy. And I'll never have anything good. And and so that was Ten of Swords was just kind of like the realization of like, oh, it sucks. Cool. And then Change is like, oh, but I don't change anything to actually help that. Great.
yeah. So, the Ten of Swords would be like the reprise of that. It's not like a negative song. Change is not a negative song. It's meant to be like one of those like harder blues. If you played an acoustic guitar, it'd be like, wow, that's like sad. But we're playing it loud and energetic, and I don't know.
We are kind of getting near the end of the show, but you still have time to get a call in if you want. The number is 920-358-0795. We had a comment in the chat. Somebody asked if you guys were time travelers. I don't know when they put that, but
yes. I'm from the year 1966. I don't know. We're all time travelers, aren't we?
Well, we were around for the Jean Nicolet era, hence the song Thunderhands. Or the song about Jean Nicolet. That was Thunderhands.
Yeah.
But it's not like what you figure, it's not like, oh yeah, road's named after him. No, it was talking more about like, sorry, Jean. But he was kind of an arrogant guy. Kind of, you see the picture in the courthouse. Yeah, him standing with this big, like Chinese, colorful suit, and he's got two pistols firing in the air, and the ho-chuk are like, wow, what is that? And he kind of had like this idea, like, for my God, I walked away from. For my mother, I'm without her hand. Pride is the secret that I display. Then you don't know me like I do then.
Wait, he was like, the guy didn't know how to swim, and yet got on a boat and went across an ocean. Like, how arrogant do you have to be like, water's just not going to kill me?
Yeah, exactly. He drowned.
That's how he died.
Yeah, he drowned in Canada. I forgot the lake, but yeah, that was the end of his reign.
And I praise that moment every day.
But in a positive light, Jean Nicolet was a great explorer, and he tried to side with the natives, the Native Americans, and be with them instead of, like
chopping hands off.
Yeah, instead of doing the opposit, which
welcome to the French-Irish Coalition History
Politics
Hour.
Yeah, get out your copybooks and turn to page 19.
This is the history they don't tell you about.
These are the ones you don't know. Yeah.
You guys have not played Mile of Music yet, but I'm sure it's something you would like to do if the opportunity came up. You guys did do something though called the All Bands on Deck Festival in Green Bay. How was that festival? Like,
that was great.
It sounds awesome. 100 bands. I think was it 30 stages or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like 30 plus. And we played the Blue Collar Bar, and I don't know. I had a great time. Like they had buses going up and down the street, like. So you didn't have to drive to the different places and everything like that, different venues. And, a lot of great bands, a lot of just cool stuff happening. I think we ended the night at Rockabilly's because the Torches were playing, and we played, had a great time, and then we went watch the Torches rip it up, and Matty Day was playing guitar for those guys, and Steve, that guy can kill it. But
I don't know if I'm sure Carl will do it again, but if all bands on deck, I hope to see it next year. It is a blast.
Yeah, I hope it gets bigger. Yeah, they're doing cool stuff.
See a lot of interesting bands, and it's just a good time, and it's good for Green Bay.
Of course.
But
What's your favorite show you've played so far? If you had to pick just one.
maybe on our Bandcamp, that Lyric Room show with Sons of Kong.
That was great.
That was
That was
amazing.
so
Yeah.
fun.
That was a good time.
Julian was out in the crowd doing the work, you know.
It was so Lyric Room had been closed due to COVID, and this is the first show that they had since COVID. And you know, working with Will, like, hey, we'd like to have a show here going on. He's like, all right, yeah, you guys do your thing. And it was supposed to be outside, and then it turned to be an inside show, which we were very thankful for, because inside shows are much more convenient for, you know, weather reasons. But it was a good show. It was a good turnout. We were playing loud and electric. Sons of Kong killed it. They are electric. But
we also, ironically, I guess, or not ironically, I would say some of our unironically some of my favorite shows have been the ones that literally nobody showed up, just because you don't care. Like we played
singing "Happy Birthday" to people. Guys like, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to you.
It's like
personal, man.
Yeah, it's like one friend showed up, and then there's like two guys sitting at the bar, and the bartender. You're like, you know what? This is great.
The bartender's like, you guys sounded good. I'm like,
I remember that one time there was three people in the entire bar. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were playing for 4 hours. We were supposed to play from 10 to 2, which is dumb, especially as a two-piece. And we asked the bartender, it was like, dude, there's 3 people here. Can we just call it a night? And he was like, we got you till 2. I'm like, oh my God.
all right.
Okay, I guess. And then like a bunch of people showed up all of a sudden. That was weird. But so.
You guys did a live show at a brewery, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Couple breweries now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
French-Irish brewery tour.
Still Make Brewing Company.
Yeah, Still Make, and then we did Appleton Beer Factory. So, yeah. Did a couple of them. Well, Roots Festival, and then we played a separate time with Eric MCM and Taillight Rebellion.
Yes.
Yeah. Those guys are cool.
You've got a show coming up next week at the Lyric Room again, the site of Julian's favorite show, with Sons of Kong and Trash Pandas.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It is going to be a rocker. If you are bored on what day was that?
It's December 9th, Friday.
December 9th.
2 days after my birthday.
Yeah.
So it'll be I guess, my birthday show. We'll
And the
call it
older
that.
Travis will be there.
Yeah, we're time travelers, remember. So
Are you taking birthday presents?
I'll accept birthday presents. I don't care. In the form of shots, hopefully. That's
So I know you've played with Sons of Kong before. Have you played with Trash Pandas before?
Yes.
yes. Yep.
I think they were at the dock festival up there.
Yeah, and we played with them at Reptile Palace in Oshkosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Are you obviously you're in Holly and the Nice Lines, and so are you guys meeting a lot of different bands when you're playing shows?
Oh yeah. Oh, we were just talking about that on the way here. Stuff like Left Lane Cruiser from Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're actually hopefully setting something up. Oh, they're so great.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully setting something up with them, like in Indiana, with them. Like Matt Bruiser Queen, they're coming back, and yeah, they're so good. But yeah, just lots of bands. Actually, we played with so many different weird bands, and Pete Dio and the Dirt. What was his band's name? Old Dirty. Yeah. But that was he was the drummer for Left Lane Cruiser for a while, and for quite a while actually. But he's got his like country kind of rock thing that he's got going on.
Remember when we played with Grant Hart?
We played, we opened up for Grant Hart from Husker Du.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
We
then
hung with him the whole night. You just we'd be outside, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And he's just telling us stories.
telling us stories. He really liked us. He handed me a bag of illicit
Yes.
stuff.
You
And
guys
was
go to
like,
Chicago? Can you bring this to me? We're like,
just hand me a bag of stuff. And I was like, kids don't do drugs. And I was just so nervous because it was like in the middle of the street, and he's like, here. And I was like, I just ran in like, somebody take this. So, rest in peace, Grant Hart. Thanks for it's like, thanks for attempting to give me drugs.
So with the this single that came out, what are you guys working on next?
Well, we want to get the whole Ten of Swords record out. So we got the EP. We're gonna do.
We've got like 4 or 5 more songs.
4 or 5 more songs, and we're gonna get that out.
They've been recorded. They're getting worked on, and then we're just kind of tuning up the lyrics and a little bit of the guitar solo side of it. But getting things together for that, and then working with Lucky Lamb Studios, Joe Lambert, to get that all in. And
we'd love to get it on vinyl. That's really the goal.
He's our vinyl guy right now. He's our vinyl recordings guy. But as for digital releases, we'll probably get that hopefully by let's shoot for like July.
Yeah, we'll see. By summer we'll have something out on vinyl.
Yeah.
And you guys have been a band for like 17 years. I don't know if I'm doing the math right. What's changed over the 15? What's changed over the last 15 years?
I would say that we've boosted our musicianship. That I used to play power chords and a little bit licks there. Now I'm playing slide guitar and trying new things, trying to not do cliche things on top of it. And vocality wise, I'm hoping to become a better singer. But and then our writing style too, like it's getting there, and we're getting our feelings out too. So the blues.
I think when you're younger, and this is I battle with this a lot, because when you're younger, everything just hits harder for everything. It's, oh no, everything's the end of the world. And now we're older, and we kind of look at everything and just go.
I was thinking Nirvana. That teenage angst.
Let's sing about teenage angst stuff. And now we're like, we're gonna things actually matter in life, and we'll make this stuff work.
More responsible things, but still don't know what I should change, man.
Where can people go to find out more about the French Irish Coalition?
Go to your local museum.
Local museum. We've got a website, FrenchIrishCoalition.com. You can find us on Spotify. Spotify would be where our music is high quality. We got Apple Music, we got Deezer, we've got YouTube. We're gonna be making
if you want to buy directly from us, if you want to buy it actually and download it. Yeah.
And then we'll have physical copies coming out here soon. We got merch too. We've got T-shirts, we've got stickers, we've got pins. But come see us December 9th, the Lyric Room, Trash Pandas and Sons of Kong, and we're gonna be making a music video here coming up soon too.
Yeah.
Next week we're gonna be filming it. Putting that together. So look out for that. Stay tuned. We got Twitter. We've got TikTok, Facebook,
All sorts of
Instagram.
stuff.
We are on the internet.
My last question for you guys. People's attention spans are so short. If you had to name one song for them to go listen to, because they only have time to listen to one song, which song would you suggest they check out?
Go listen to The Race Is On by George Jones instead of us.
I would say Might Be the Devil.
Might Be the Devil's a great song.
It's our supposed to be played as the mainstream kind of sounding kind of thing. Like, hey, this is what the band sounds like. Listen to Might Be the Devil. Intro might lose you, but hey,
the slide guitar. It's got the heaviness. Yeah, it's got everything.
It's the ensemble of what we represent, essentially.